Good morning and welcome to Jilu's Kitchen. Today I'm actually taking you all back to my South Indian Kerala roots, and I'm going to be making a breakfast item or showing you how to make a breakfast item which is quite famous and quite common, and it's mostly made in every other household. And it's actually called Kadala Curry, which is actually black chickpeas. So here, this is about 1 cup of black chickpeas that I soaked overnight, and I have it in my little pressure cooker. It's a Hawkins, which I love, and I put the black chickpeas in with like a little bit of extra water. Now I'm going to put it on the stove and actually cook it. So before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit of salt so that when it cooks, the salt penetrates all the black chickpeas. So there should be about like 1 teaspoon of salt. And you can always, salt is to taste, so you can always adjust the salt later. Okay, so there we go. So let me put this on, close this up, and put this on the stove for about 2 whistles. And and you can always open it after the 2 whistles and see, press. They say like about 5 black chickpeas that you need to press to see whether it's actually cooked or not. It's called like a 5-gram test. So there we go. Now that my chickpeas, or the black chickpeas, are on the stove, let me show you the ingredients that I need to make the curry or the gravy with. I have onions, which is about like 1.5 to 2 medium-sized onions, about 2 cloves of garlic, very thinly sliced, about 1 inch and a half of ginger, thinly sliced, 2 sprigs of curry leaf powder, and of course there is no Kerala cuisine which is complete without coconut. So these are coconut bits. You can add as much or as little as you want depending on your taste. I love coconut, so I add coconut. For the lazy person that I am, this is the brand of coconuts or sliced coconut that I use, the Daily Delight, and this is the same brand that I use for the sliced coconut too. And of course, spices. So for spices, any Indian cooking will require turmeric, salt to taste, red chili powder or paprika, garam masala, which I will demonstrate in one of my other episodes what exactly consists of the garam masala, and black pepper powder, and of course a little bit of coriander powder. So now you can hear in the background the little pressure being built up for my black chickpeas. So while that is done, let me put a saute pan on the stove and start cooking or start making the gravy for the black chickpeas. So here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to start with about a tablespoon of olive oil. You can always use coconut oil if you'd like, which I will use just as a little bit of a garnish on the end. So there we go. That's about like 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And the other thing without which no Indian cooking is complete is mustard seeds. So, okay, here we go. About a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. And we'll wait till the mustard seeds actually splutter. And once they do, I'm going to add in my bits of coconut into it. So one trick that I learned, and I don't remember from who, is like while it's getting ready to splutter, actually cover the lid so that way it avoids a little bit of cleaning, because mustard can like splatter all over the place. You can hear the mustard seeds crackling a little bit in the background. So I'm going to turn the heat down a tad bit. So let it splatter. And I have my bits of coconut ready. What I'm going to do is open that. Add my coconut. And I'm going to cook this coconut for a little bit till it turns a tad bit on the brown side. It makes it a little crunchy. It gives it a good taste. So, there we go. So guys, here we can see a little bit of browning happening to the coconut pieces, or sliced coconut. So this is the time when I'm going to add my ginger, about 1 inch ginger, and garlic. And I want to cook out the rawness of the ginger and the garlic before I add onions to it. So I'm just going to cook it for about like a minute or so. And you can actually smell the ginger and the garlic. And I love that smell. It's so yummy. So here. Okay, now the rawness of the ginger and the garlic is cooked out. I'm going to add my sliced onions. I love the taste of onions, so I always add a little bit extra, but you know, you can always take it down a notch, and that's perfectly fine. So, and let me mix that in completely, and I want to cook the onions till they become a little bit translucent. So the best way to do that is to add a little bit of salt to it, but I'm going to wait to add salt since I've already added salt to my black chickpeas, which is being cooked right now. So I don't want to have an overwhelming saltiness to the dish, so I'm going to wait to see. So I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit and let the onions cook out. Guys, this is about the second whistle, so I'm going to turn the heat down and let it cook for about like another 5 to 6 minutes before I turn it off completely. This will ensure that the black grams are actually, or the black chickpeas are actually cooked. So here we go. Let it stay. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep stirring my onions a little bit just to make sure that every bit is incorporated in here and it turns translucent. Okay, as you can see, that the onions are almost cooked down. It's about half the size now. You can take it down even further, but I guess this is good enough because I like the taste of onions, and but it's cooked. That's most important. It's to the point where it's translucent. So here we can now start adding our spices, and we always begin with a pinch of turmeric. Well, a pinch can be a slightly bigger pinch. And then I'm going to put a little bit of red chili powder. It's about like 1 teaspoon, because this is a tad bit too spicy. And a lot of folks in my household don't like very spicy food. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the degi mirch or paprika to it. So this you can add. It'll give you a little color as well as thicken the gravy a tad bit. So I'll add about like 2 teaspoons of it, and I think that should be good. So now that I've added the paprika, mix that in completely. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper powder. I love the taste. You don't really have to add if you don't want to, because it's only going to add to the spiciness of the curry. So I'll add garam masala, which is about 1, and a little bit more, a pinch of it. You can add coriander powder if you'd like. It'll thicken the gravy. If not, you can let it be, which I choose to let it be. So, and I think this is the perfect time. I'm going to turn the heat down a tad bit. I'm going to let all the spices cook out so that the rawness is completely gone. And you do know this, the benefits of adding spices to any cooking, especially turmeric. It's it takes out swelling. It's a good antiseptic. You can clean any non-vegetarian dish with, meat, raw fish with that. You can apply it to your face as a paste. It'll take care of acne, everything. And I guess this is the perfect time to add my 2 sprigs of curry leaves. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let all this cook out. Well, it's a good, nice brown color, which is what we were hoping for. And while this is cooking out, like all the spices are being cooked out, I'm going to check it a little bit about my pressure cooker. See, it still has a little bit of pressure left. Okay, I think the pressure's all set, because if you try to lift this little thing up and you don't hear a sizzle, that means the pressure cooker has released all its pressure, and hopefully everything inside it is completely cooked. So now what we're going to do is we're going to test it to make sure that it's completely cooked. And for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a spatula, stir that in a little bit, pull a few of them out, and press it by hand. See? 1, 2, 3. So now that you know, it's completely done, because if you do a random sampling and you can like press through each one of them, that means you know that the black chickpeas are completely cooked. So now what we got to do is, now that our spice mix is completely cooked and ready, we are going to add this, water and all, to this. Mix this completely and turn the heat up, because now you want to make sure that all the spices and everything is incorporated perfectly into this curry. So, and yes, you see it's a little bit more watery, so you want to make sure that you cook out that extra water, or you can keep it depending on the amount of gravy that folks like. So I'm going to cook this out a little bit, check for salt, and make sure that it's nice and tasty and not that spicy enough. So I'm going to wait. And this is the time that I would like to add a little bit of coconut oil, just a tad bit, just to give that little extra taste to it, and then that way it can cook out. If you don't want to add, like I know some people don't like the taste of coconut, that is completely fine. If you'd like it, you can, but that just gives it an extra punch. So I'm going to wait till it bubbles, boils, not boils over, and thickens the gravy a little bit. The other trick that I learned in order to thicken the gravy is actually take the end of your spatula and just mash a few in there, so that'll also, thicken the gravy. So now let me check for salt. It's perfectly salted. It tastes yummy. So there we go. So now I'm just going to leave it for it to cook out. Okay guys, now this is done. Let me taste it and see if it has a perfect amount of salt and spices. So here we go. It's perfect. And just as a FYI, or you can eat this Kadala curry with either roti, rice, or putta, which is what it's traditionally eaten with. It's a steamed rice cake. So you can eat it with anything you'd like. And please don't forget to subscribe and share my video. Thank you. Till next time.